would never be a factor. Now I'm laughing at Benny Hanna's with benefactors. Sell my soul for an artist loft with them giant raptors. My chef cooking that steak and lobster on...
What up, Internet? Welcome to a show that I've decided to call Deliberate Marketing. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Drew Susi. I'm the proprietor of a digital marketing agency here in the greater New England area called DS Media. Over the last 5 years, to give you some context as to why you should listen to me, my team, or anything associated with this show, we've worked with more than 100 different businesses in a variety of different fields, ranging from e-commerce and influencers to brick and mortar and blue collar. We've developed more than 10,000 pieces of organic content originally. Our current clientele, they net somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 5 million views per month, and that's to say nothing of our paid advertising campaign successes. So we know a thing or two about digital marketing. Now, the point of this show, I don't have a good script for, so I'm just going to say it as plainly as I possibly can. I am embarrassed to be associated with the other individuals in my industry. There are a variety of hacks, grifters, and scammers in the marketing and advertising space that claim they cater to small businesses when in reality all they do is separate them from their hard-earned operating income. And as a small business owner, I know how hard it is to grow a business. I know that every single dollar needs to be accounted for and it needs to go the distance. And so what I want to do with this show is I want to dispel myths. I want to save those business owners that I'm talking about time and hard-earned money. And I want to save all of you from those hacks within the world of marketing and advertising. There is so much information by those people that is just plain wrong that I honestly can't live with it. I have a personal vendetta against these people, and my goal with this show is to put those people out of business. I don't need you to spend $1 with me. I just need you to stop spending money with them. I need you to put your money in somewhere that's going to net you better results than whatever these fucking people are selling you. Now, on a positive note, there are so many people that I meet on a regular basis that have great ideas. They have great business concepts that they really should build out, but they're strapped on budget or don't have the resources to hire out an employee or an agency to market their business for them. And my secondary goal with this show is really to give you the resources to employ, to build to the point where you can employ an individual or an agency to grow your business for you. Because anybody who's run a business knows that entrepreneurship, small business, independent business is all about wearing a million different hats. And if I can get that down to 999,999 hats for you, I will sleep better at night. So I'm going to share actionable steps. I'm going to share lessons. I'm going to give you guys every single piece of information that I can possibly think of associated with the services that I provide to businesses and individuals on a daily basis with my team. I'm not going to put this behind a paywall. I'm going to give this all away for free. And in exchange, you're going to go out and you're going to serve your customers so well, the new ones that you find through these strategies, these tactics, these lessons, you're going to serve them so well that you get a bunch of 5-star reviews and you send them to me and say, hey, look how much better I'm doing because of the information that you gave me. I'm so much happier and all of my customers and clients are so much happier because I finally found a way to communicate with them in a way that they decided to trust me and purchase my product or service. That's what you're going to do for me. I don't want $1. I don't want a single fucking dollar from you. I want you to go serve more people, and I want you to stop wasting money on these people that don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they're just trying to get $1 from you. The show's going to be raw. If you haven't already gathered that, it's going to be minimally edited, and therefore it's going to be a little bit rough around the edges. This isn't going to be an extremely high production value because I want to prove that that's not what's holding a lot of you back from succeeding in the online marketing space. A lot of small business owners like to complain about how they don't have the right gear, they don't have the right cameras, they can't spend a few $100 on a fancy looking fucking microphone to pretend that's some kind of a badge of authority or expertise. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to prove that the reality is it doesn't matter how the information is packaged. What matters is the information and how you're delivering it to people. Quality comes second. The first thing that we need to focus on is the message itself. Then how that message looks and how that message sounds afterward, we'll worry about that another day. Now, episode 1, I did think about going into, some backstory, some, origin story of my agency, how I got into this, yada, 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 yada. I don't think that's a very good way to show that I know what I'm talking about. And so instead, what I'm going to do with episode 1 is I'm going to give you a roadmap that is literally called the One Roadmap. Episode 1, the One Roadmap. This is going to be an actionable piece of advice. You can call it a program. You can call it whatever you want. That If you stop listening to the show at this episode, you will still walk away with something that will grow your business to the point where you will need to employ an individual like me. It's as simple as that. You don't have to listen to episodes 2 through whatever the hell else I put out for this show. You can stop at this one, and this plan that I'm about to give you, if executed properly, I guarantee will net you clients, customers. It will grow you to the point that you have to start delegating. That is the number one goal of this. This is a system that my team and I use for smaller budget businesses and brands. We do the exact same thing in-house. This is how we start building. I cannot stress that enough. I have an agency that I have built off of these principles. This is episode 1. This is front to back. This is the one system that will grow you to the point where you will need help growing your business further. And this isn't anything that's going to take a ton of your time. It can probably be done, the steps that I'm about to give you can probably be done in about 25 minutes to set everything up. And then from there, the rest of that, I mean, that's really up to you. The actionable steps, that's as much as you want to invest in terms of time and effort. But it will work. I promise that. So we're going to run through 5 steps. Step number 1, and the most important one, and the one that I can't believe I have to start with a lot. I have been very, very surprised by this over the last half decade of working with people, the number of people that can't answer this correctly. Step number 1 out of this 5-step one system is knowing your customer. And I can't believe I have to start there. Do you have an ideal client or customer profile? Half of you business owners that are listening to this just rolled your eyes, and the other half went, oh no. And I'm not super surprised by that. So those of you that know what I'm talking about, bear with me for 2-3 minutes. We'll get to the next part. Those of you that don't, I can't believe you've made it this far. Defining your ideal customer and client, it really is step 1 to marketing, branding, and advertising. Because if you don't know who you're talking to, what's the point of talking, right? Think about it in terms of dating. If you don't know the individual that you're talking to, you don't know how to smooth talk them to get what you want, right? Which is hopefully date number 2. It's the same concept with marketing and advertising. If you don't know who you're talking to nobody at all. We need to be very, very specific with this. Now, successful businesses, grown businesses, they do have multiple ideal client and customer profiles. They do have multiple people that they're selling to. Take a car brand, for instance. Ford, the same individual that buys the little fucking EcoSport that I see driving around Portland's Old Port all the time is not the same individual that's buying an F-350. They're just different people, different customer or client profiles. We don't care about those right now. If you are an established business and you have multiples of those, I want you to focus on one. I want you to pick your most successful one, the one that you believe nets you the best returns. We need one client or customer profile right now. And you should be able to define this person in 1 to 2 sentences. So I'm going to use my agency as an example. When we first got started, the number one person that we were focused on, our ideal client profile, was millennial and Gen X business owners that were old enough to remember life without the internet, basically. They were far enough along in their business and they were smart enough to know that they needed to be advertising, they needed to be marketing online, but they were not with it enough to know where to start with digital marketing. That's where we would step in. That's the problem that we would solve for them. It's 1 to 2 sentences. So we were millennial Gen X business owners that were smart enough to know that they needed to be on the internet and marketing and advertising on there, but not with it enough to know exactly where to start with that. That was the individual that we were speaking to when we first started. That is what we built our business off of. That's what our entire marketing strategy from day one was all about online. So we want to pick one ideal customer, one ideal client. We want to be able to define that in 1 to 2 sentences, and that is going to be the filter for everything that we create. We don't, as I said, if you have multiple clients and customers that you cater to, we're not worried about them right now. We are only worried about one. And we want the one that's going to net the most returns, the ones that we solve the most problems for, the ones that we can speak most directly to. We will worry about the rest later. This is called the one system for a reason. One client or customer that you're speaking to. Once you've got that defined, then we move on to step 2. And guess what? Step number 2 is all about one as well. We're going to pick one platform. Social media nowadays, What do we have? We have Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, now known as X, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, technically a secondary thing within there. Blue Sky, the competing one coming up to basically take TikTok's place. I mean, that's 9 right there, just off the top of my head. Oh, LinkedIn as well. Okay, so we're in the double digits there already. So we've got 10 platforms. Back when I started this shit, and back when I started in business, and this is something that is still toted by a whole bunch of quacks in my field, I was told that I needed to be omnipresent. I needed to be on every single platform that I had available to me all the time, putting out something on every single one. So let's say 10 platforms. 10 platforms. Let's say I tried to be on there once a day, and I just did it during the work week, so Monday through Friday. That's 50 individual posts. 50 individual posts every single week. If you're doing it right, that's a full-time job for one person. That's a full-time job on its own, on top of the million other hats that you're wearing as a business owner, right? No way. That's impossible. And the reality is, it doesn't make that much of a difference. It actually dilutes your message. What we want to do is we want to focus on one platform that we know we can reach our target customer or client. That ideal one that we just specified in step 1, that's who we're going to be talking to, and we need to find the platform that they exist on most often. So if you're appealing to a younger audience, that might be TikTok, right? Gen Alpha, Gen Z, they spend a lot of time on TikTok. For me specifically, given the competitive advantage of my agency, that's Instagram, right? I run a visually oriented digital marketing agency where our competitive advantage is the quality of material that we produce, right? We offer a slightly higher quality, finished piece of content, finished piece of media than the vast majority of digital media agencies in the New England area, right? At least as far as mid-tier ticket goes, right? You can spend 5 to 6 figures with a fucking full production studio and get something that definitely does look better than our stuff. Or you could focus on the things that are really going to make the difference, which is the message behind it, and then just step things up a step above filmed with your iPhone, which is what we aim for. And so our competitive advantage lies in showcasing that on Instagram. Instagram is the platform for us because our competitive advantage is on there and our target audience is on there. The majority of Instagram users are millennials and early Gen X, right? Which means the people that we're quote unquote hunting, that we're trying to serve, they spend a lot of time on there. We know that there's a pool that we can fish from on there. Think about it the same way with your business. Where is your ideal client hanging out? If you're a B2B service of some kind, if you're a consultant, if you're anything like that, if you're a lawyer, corporate lawyer, something like that, you might consider LinkedIn, right? Because you're only pitching to other professionals. It's contextual at this point. You need to think about what platform houses most of your target customers or clients. When you narrow that down, that is the one that we're going to focus on. We're not going to worry about any others. We can expand later. We can always add more later. Right now, we just want to narrow it down to one. We want to focus on one platform. Now, I guarantee you a couple of you just went, I can focus on Facebook and then just push to Threads and Instagram or whatever. Something like that. No, stop it. One platform. This is called the one system for a reason. I want you to know your customer. I want you to know exactly who you're talking to. And then I want you to know exactly what platform you're going to be reaching out to them on. And then we're going to move on to step 3. And step 3, guess what, is another one. We're going to define one offer that we're going to put in front of those people. And we're going to make sure that our profile highlights that our captions highlight that. What are we offering these people? What are we offering them? Clarify the offer that you're going to put in front of these ideal people on that one platform. A simple way to phrase this is we do X for Y so that they can Z. We do something for somebody so that they get this, or they avoid this, or whatever it happens to be. Clarify it in a single sentence. What are you offering these people? What does your product, your service, your business, what do you solve? What problem do you solve? My agency solves the problem of attention. I bring more attention to things that people are not paying attention to. The mission statement of my business is we promote good people sharing good things. There's a comma in there. Promoting good people, comma, sharing good things. That tells you our delivery method. That's our offer right there. That's our clear offer. We promote good people. I don't want to work with anybody who's selling shit. We promote them by sharing good things about them. Therefore, getting them more attention and solving them their problem of growing their business. Clarify your offer. Who are you? You know who you're talking to right now, right? What are you putting in front of those people that you're selling to? What are you offering them? Don't just say a product or a service. Don't say I'm offering them this widget. Tell them what that widget solves. What are you removing from their plate? What are you adding to their plate? What joy are you bringing to their life? What problem are you helping them avoid? If you're an accountant, that's an easy one, right? You're helping you're helping businesses or individuals either save money or avoid the IRS boogeyman. If you're a lawyer, criminal defense attorney, you're helping your clientele avoid jail time, hopefully, ideally, right? Clarify the offer that you're putting in front of this ideal individual that you specified from step one. There's 4 parts to this formula. You can actually break it down this way as well. Clarify their desired result. So let's take the criminal defense attorney. Clarify the desired result. Avoid jail. Okay, that's number 1. Identify the barriers. Well, court and whatever they did wrong. Set a time frame if you want. I don't necessarily think that this part is. I don't think setting a time frame is necessary. I do think it helps in some capacities. Like, let's say if you're a coach or a trainer or something in that vein, and you're offering a workout program or something to that effect. Yeah, saying 8-week program. You go from this to this in this amount of time. That does help. But I don't necessarily think it's necessary. Let's go back to the criminal defense attorney. Eliminate the excuses. What are the excuses? What are the hang-ups between them and the result that they want, avoiding jail? Well, you just said the barrier is court, right? So what's the excuse behind why they can't do it? Knowledge of the legal system. That's where you come in. You are the expert that keeps them away from whatever the hell that they're trying to avoid. In this case, paying for whatever the hell they did wrong. So clarify your offer. That is what you're going to put in front of the ideal client or customer that you just defined in step 1. And you're going to put it on that one platform that we just defined in step 2. Step 3, clarify the offer. That should be on your profile in some capacity. It should be in your bio somewhere. We do this something for this somebody so that they can do this. And it should be in some of your contents as well. It should be in your captions. It should be wherever you're publishing things, there should be some kind of paraphrased version of this. We're doing something for somebody so that they can get this or avoid this. Now let's move on to step 4. Step number 4, we're going to use one content type to communicate that offer. One content type. If you go on any social media platform, I guarantee you see multiple mediums that you can use, right? Let's take Instagram as an example. You can use carousels, you can use reels, you can use single photos. Sky's the limit, right? We want one type of content, and then we're going to define one type of material that we're going to put into that type of content. I'm going to focus here in this specific example on reels and educational content because that is the easiest one for every single business owner that I've ever met in my life, because the subject matter is so easy. There are so many topics that they can pull off the top of their head that they never run out of ideas. And ideas are a hard part for a lot of people. So let's focus on the easiest one for you. Talking head reels that you film on your iPhone are easy, they're straightforward, they're simple to edit and put together. Captions are automatically generated by the Edits app or TikTok or YouTube or wherever you're publishing them. So you don't even have to worry about that. All you need to do is you need to be able to hit the record button, point it in your general direction, and talk about or showcase something that has to do with your area of expertise. You are an expert in something. The information that you deal with on a daily basis that you consider common knowledge is not common knowledge to the general public. Great example is this podcast right here. The information that I plan on sharing in the coming episodes, or in this episode right here, is information that I consider common knowledge. I think about this shit every single day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I think about marketing all the time. And I take for granted that the information that I have in my head, I think it's stuff that everybody has available to them all the time. It's not. It's simply not. And so when I think about making content, I think about what I can put out there, educational material that will show people something that will benefit them. And that is the trick to educational content. That's the trick to content in general, actually. It's called value-based marketing, but we'll get into that, on a later episode in more depth. All you need to understand right now is that the content that you put together, that educational content that we're talking about right now, and by the way, nothing is too simple. Nothing is too simple. You can break this down as simply and as basically, as foundationally as you possibly can, and it still will not be simple enough for your general audience. It will still work in your favor. You need to frame that information in such a way that it's about the end viewer. That is the trick. That's value-based marketing. You need to be speaking. You need to be putting content together. These reels, these talking head reels that we're talking about, the educational material, you need to be putting it together in such a way that it's about the person on the other side of the screen. They need to be able to walk away from viewing that piece of content and go, okay, I got something new in my brain from that. There are multiple other forms of content that we can put together that could accomplish the same thing. For instance, you could put together entertaining content. You could make people laugh. But let's be real. 9 out of 10 of us are not very good at that, myself included. And so let's go with the one that we definitely know that you can put together, because you wouldn't have started a business offering a service if you did not have a skill set or a set of information or a specialty that was not unique, differentiated. That's what we're going to share. We just need to frame it in such a way that the end viewer gets something from it. They need to have something of value in it. And so instead of saying, hey, pay attention to me, look at what I can do, you need to say, hey, pay attention to this, look at what it can do for you. And that's the kind of content that you're going to put together. That one singular type of content on that one platform that you picked for that one ideal customer that you're putting one offer in front of. That's how we're putting this together. You understand why it's called the one system now? Right? Pretty straightforward, right? So that one type of content, there is a huge hang up right here. And I run into this a bunch. People hate being on camera, myself included. You want to know how comfortable I am right now filming this? I'm not. I despise being on camera. I can't stand it. But there is a trick to this. There's a little exercise that I can give you, that I give to clients of mine, that will genuinely help you get better at speaking on camera. It will make you more comfortable. It will make you, it will assist you in communicating in a more effective manner via video content. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your phone in your pocket. You're going to go to Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, I don't care. You're going to go buy a $10, $15 tripod, and you're going to hook your little phone in your pocket up to that tripod. Then you're going to go home and you're going to pick a task that you do every single day of the week, or every single week, or every single month, or whatever. Something that you do on a regular basis that is super mundane and straightforward. So let's take doing the laundry as an example, folding laundry. You could pick dishes, you could pick shoveling the dry, I don't care. Just pick something that you do on a regular basis. Now, to use my laundry analogy, what we're going to do is we're going to set up the phone in the tripod on a nightstand or something of that sort, facing our general direction. We're going to hit the record button, and then when we hit the record button, we're just going to narrate what we're going through. We're going to narrate the process of folding laundry. That's it. Nothing else. You just hit the record button and you start walking walking yourself through on that video whatever you happen to be doing. So for instance, the folding laundry thing. I'm folding laundry in this particular fashion because this is the way that I need to fold it so that my girlfriend doesn't get mad at me and it fits in the drawer the way that she thinks it's supposed to. Because if I fold it my way, she says it doesn't properly fit in the drawer, and then everybody gets upset, and then everybody's sad. And so I'm going to take that t-shirt that I just folded in this manner, and I'm going to walk it over to this drawer, and I'm going to put it in the drawer in the way that my girlfriend just said she really prefers. So then I'm going to put it in there. And then once I'm done with that, I turned around, and I happened to notice that there were a whole bunch of socks that I still need to put away. So then I'm going to take the time to stand here, and I'm going to go, well, that sock doesn't go with that sock, and so I'm going to put that sock over there until I find the other sock. You get the idea. You're going to narrate the entire process until you're done, and you're just going to keep talking through it. You're just going to explain. All you need to do is explain whatever you're doing. That's it. And that video never needs to see the light of day. You need to finish it. You need to stop recording. You need to listen to it back, and you need to have the natural reaction of, oh my God, do I really sound like that? Oh, geez. Wow. Oh, man, I say like way too much. I stutter too much. Oh, my God. Did you hear how many uhs were in there? You get the idea. Everybody has that exact same reaction when they hear themselves recorded for the first time. It's not a fun experience. I mean, Gen Z and Gen Alpha have a leg up on the rest of us on this one because they grew up with cameras. They grew up with the internet. It's a regular thing for them. For us, the rest of us, millennials, Gen X, boomers, and beyond, we're playing catch up on that one, and this is how we catch up. So have that miserable experience of listening back to yourself, and then delete the video. You don't have to show it to anybody else. Don't ever show it to anybody. Just delete it, and then do it again the next time you do that chore or that task, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again, and do it again until you go, oh, hey, I managed to cut out the uhs. I managed to cut out the likes. I managed to stop stuttering so much. You know what? I don't sound half bad. I think I've gotten a cadence down. I've noticed that I can pause and I can catch my ideas again and keep going. This doesn't sound too bad. I still hate it, but it doesn't sound too bad. Once you reach that point, guess what? You can make content for your business. You can make that educational talking head content that we were just talking about. That's how easy it is. It's going to take some practice. It's going to take some repetition in the same way that it took a lot of practice and it took a lot of refinement and repetition for you to figure out what your product was and figure out what your service was and everything else. It's the same thing over again. You just got to do it again. You've done it before for a variety of different things associated with your business. Why would you think that this is anything different? Once you've got that content mastered, guess what? You've got everything that you need to be able to market your business. That's it. You have your ideal client or customer that you know you're talking to. You've got your one platform that you know you're going to be talking to them through. You've got your clear offer that you're definitely going to put in front of them. And you've got the content type that you're going to be using to do that and the style of content. You've got all of it. You've got one thing for each. That's it. Then from there, you've got one step left. You've got to pick a metric to track. And this is another thing that drives me fucking nuts about people in my industry. So I'm going to go off on a little rant again. One of the things that pisses me off is the data whores, the ones that they put together metrics reports for whoever they're working for, and it's gigantic fucking spreadsheets of just nonsense, right? Like, I mean, like click-through rates on individual posts and yada, 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 yada. Like, just a whole bunch of just stuff that means nothing to anybody, especially somebody who's fucking busy, like a general manager or an owner or whatever. They don't want to see all those numbers 9 times out of 10. There's a couple of those psychopaths that do, but we're not speaking to them. We're speaking generally here. They don't want to see a packet of data. They want to see the main points broken down, the top 3 to 5 things that tell them that what you're putting together for them is working, right? Let's treat the stuff that we're putting together for ourselves right here the exact same way. Pick one metric. One metric. I don't care if that's views. I don't care if that's likes. I don't care if that's comments. I don't care if that's shares. I don't care if that's, website hits. I don't care if that's forms submitted. I don't care. I want you to pick one of those. You just need one, and that's the one that you're going to track. That's going to tell you whether the stuff that you're putting together is working. Personally, I would recommend either views or shares. Views, shares, possibly website hits. One of those three right there, that is the one thing that you're going to track that's going to tell you whether what you're doing is working or not. That will tell you whether the content that you're putting together is actually resonating, and you need to give it time. You need to put out more than one of these things that we just talked about putting together here. You need to do it a lot, but the more you do it, the more you'll be able to tell whether this stuff is working or not. That is the entire system. That is the entire 5-step process. You define your customer, define your ideal one, you pick one platform to talk to them through, you clarify exactly what you're putting in front of them, you use one type of content to do that, and then you track one metric to find out whether what you're putting together is working. It is that simple. That system right there is the baseboard. That is the foundation that we use for the vast majority of small businesses that we work with. Because everything is scalable from there. Think about it this way. You might be like, that's overly simplistic, right? It is. That's the point. Because then from here, everything can be scaled out. Step 1, we already talked about the fact that most businesses, as they grow, end up with multiple ideal clients and customers. Great. If you end up with a second one of those, as time goes on, once you've proven that this worked the first time, you define a second customer or client, and you start talking to them too, through that same one platform with the same general offer to the same with the same style of content, and you track the same metric because you know, generally speaking, how it went the first time, which means you have something to compare it to. If you decide to split off to a second platform because you noticed it was working on the first one, same thing. If I notice my stuff is working on Instagram, I might go to YouTube Shorts and start putting it on there. I might go to TikTok. I might go wherever. I'll just pick a second platform and I'll do the exact same thing. I've already defined the customer or client. I'm talking to the exact same people. I'm probably talking in the exact same manner, giving them the exact same offer with the exact same style of content. I'm just going on to a new platform and learning that one instead. And there will be some nuance with that, but it's the same fucking thing. Step 3, clarifying our offer. Let's say we come up with a new product. We come up with a new service. We have to clarify a new offer. Okay. You can still use steps 1, 2, 4, and 5 the exact same way. Track all the same stuff. Put together the same type of content. On the same platform, talking to the same people. Just give them a new offer. Step 4, different kinds of content. That one's self-explanatory. You might expand into new pieces of content if you get the first one down pat and you find out it's really, really easy, right? You might decide that the educational content, okay, you've got that one cornered and that one seems to be doing well. Let's branch off into, I don't know, let's start doing fucking skits to entertain people instead. Let's do infographics instead of videos. Whatever it happens to be. You can expand and scale that one pretty easily as well. And then number 5, tracking metrics. Again, self-explanatory. Okay, well, we've noticed that website hits go up pretty significantly. How does that correlate to views and shares? Does every X thousand views for us equate to an extra 10 website hits? 10 click-throughs? Who knows? Let's just track some more stuff. Let's continue putting out content and let's track a few more things to see if we can't figure out what the relation between those is. The system is scalable. It's called the one system because you start with one. Not to sound like Linkin Park, but you start with one on each of these, and once you've got the system down there, it is as simple as scaling. That's it. You just iterate on the process. Start with one. Don't overload yourself with a million different fucking things. You probably did that at the beginning of your business too. You were like, oh my God, I have to master accounting and I have to master, I have to get all of these licenses and certifications and I have to offer, if I've got a retail store, I've got to offer umpteen thousand different products in, 17,000 different SKUs and yada, 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 yada. Like you overloaded yourself, right? How did that go? You probably got to year 2 of business and went, oh, I bit off more than I could chew. I don't know why I have all this. I need to just streamline the process, right? And when you streamlined, you started seeing some success. Streamline the content process. Streamline the marketing process. This is exactly what I mean by if you don't listen to another episode of this fucking show, you can take this single episode, and I guarantee you, if you use this system, if you build it out and you do it correctly, this one process will grow you to the point where you should be having a conversation with somebody like me. You should be having a conversation with an agency that should be taking over your marketing, your branding, and your advertising so that you can focus on the other 999,999 hats that you need to wear on every single day in order to grow your business, so that you can focus on what you do best. In the meantime, this is what will get you moving. This is a low effort, low lift process that is enough to guarantee that you will get new clients and customers in the door. It will not happen immediately. It does take time for this to work, like this process. People need time to develop trust. There is no substitute for time. But if you repeat this over the course of time, I guarantee you will see new customers and clients come from this system. You just need to be paying attention. You need to add inputs, which are the 5 steps that we just talked right here, and then analyze the outputs and adjust. Start with this system and then build from there. It's not a full-scale plan. It's not a full-scale strategy. It doesn't cover everything because you don't have the time or resources to do that. But it will be a foundation that you can build your business and brand from. It's a straightforward system that you can build from. Nothing more. That's the whole point of this system. And that's the whole point of episode 1. Like I said, listen to the next episodes if you want something more in depth. Stop right here if you think you've got what you need to really build something out. And I think you do. I really think you do. I don't think that you need to go farther than this. This gives you enough actionable steps. Keyword being actionable. You need to actually do something with this. You need to put the effort in to make this system and then implement it. This is enough actionable steps to get you moving in the right direction pretty quickly, assuming you stay on top of it. That's all I'm going to put into episode 1 here. If you want to listen to the next episodes coming out, do me a favor, follow me at probably Drew Susie on just about everywhere on the internet. Anywhere I can be found at that moniker. And follow and subscribe if you're looking to build your business the right way. We'll be sharing some more in-depth topics on the next episodes.